Okay, welcome. Thank you so much. So if you are logged in, you are here for the 11th grade online practice ACT proctor training. And I will try to make this as short and sweet as possible. We have such a small group right now, so please just feel free to unmute and whenever you have a question, or you can add it to the chat. And if someone sees a chat question that I missed, please just unmute and let me know. So this training is for juniors. If you are proctoring juniors, we want to thank you. First and foremost, my name is Kate Boer, and I'm a member of the testing team as well as an instructional coach this year at Park. And we know there's been a lot of transition with all things, but testing included. So thank you for your patience with us and your determination to make tomorrow a success for our scholars. So thank you all for being here. I want to share that this year it is brand new that we have the practice ACT both online and in-house. And it is also new that we have the practice ACT online and in-house with accommodations. So there's a lot new happening, but we are super confident that tomorrow will run smoothly. Information was shared with students if they were in attendance last week, Thursday, during advisory, October 14th. There is also information posted, and it's gone home multiple times, but we know we can always communicate it again and again, right? But there's also a folder in their Schoology class of 2023 folder that's got this information as well. So today I'm going to go over the test day PowerPoint or slide deck, which is new this year. And the purpose of that test day slide deck is to help you as proctors walk students through setting up their online account, as well as guiding students along the process so that we all stick together for testing. We did ask that students arrive by 8:30 and you may set up GoGuardian. It is not mandatory, but if that is something you want to do, I will talk about that at the end of this training. So this is the estimated schedule. If you've proctored before, you know that can fluctuate a few minutes here or there until we get students set up and settled. And so one thing I do want to be sure of is that proctors, at least one proctor from your room picks up your test tote in the media center by 8 a.m. And these timings, 45 minutes for English, 60 minutes for math, those are the same timings as the actual ACT for standard timing. If you are proctoring for time and a half or extended time, your name would have been on the right hand yellow column of the proctor assignments. And that will be time and a half, just like it is for the actual ACT. So in your test hub, I'm not going to read all this to you. Many of you have proctored before, but you will have rosters. You will have a script, just like you've done in the past. You will have Post-its. So Post-its are for our lunch count. And if you want to use them to assign seats in your room, that's great too. But we would love to give our lunch staff a heads up on how many lunches to expect to make. And there will be directions for that too for you and the instruction handout. So we already did this. So we're doing this now. Students saw their PowerPoint last week, and then I'm going to quickly go over the test day PowerPoint just to show you what it looks like. So this is the standard time. And again, the intent of this PowerPoint was to help you all as proctors and to help our students be set up for success. So we start the slide deck by just showing them how to create the online account. The practice ACT will be done through Princeton Review. And so this goes step by step for them to set up the account with directions. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I've signed up multiple times with multiple different emails just to triple check this. and it does work easy peasy. So this will set them up for success. And I just wanted to show you when you get to this option, this is really important that you tell them not to start until everyone's ready. So they don't click start exam until everyone's ready at this point. And if you are proctoring for extended time, you have a different presentation to show that they need to select time and a half on this. So like I said before, GoGuardian can be set up if it's your advisory and you prefer to set up GoGuardian just to help hold students accountable. We just like to remind students that this is their opportunity for a practice test and to stay on the Princeton Review website. If they were to try to look up an answer, that's not going to help them for the actual ACT. And so we just want this to be as accurate as possible for them. For every question that they get wrong, they get an explanation for what the right answer is and why it is that answer. And so this is a really cool free tool for our kids. And so we just want to encourage integrity at every opportunity there. So I'm going to kind of just skip through this quickly. The rosters that I printed out for you all for the standard advisories from Infinite Campus have some of the extra information they'll need, like a parent or guardian email address. If you don't have it on your roster and a student doesn't know, they can just put in their personal email address again. That's not a huge deal. The only thing that might come up is if a student has already created a Princeton Review account. I don't foresee this happening at all, but if it were to happen, just like any other service, you can create another account with just a different email address. And so, yeah, just tell them to use a different email address to set it up because they can only take one free practice ACT test with this account. And then with those Post-its, you can also encourage them to write down their login information. They're not going to have their phone on them, right? And so we just want them to be able to access that account at a later date. They will have access to those scores and those questions with the little tutorials for up to a year after they take the practice ACT. So that's super cool too. And if you are new to proctoring, we made sure to pair you with someone that has proctored before, if at all possible. And if you are alone in your proctoring, there's only a couple people that if you are scheduled one-on-one with a student, if you have any questions, please email the test team or let us know in the media center and we will get someone to you ASAP. So please use those test day PowerPoints to help keep students on the same pacing. And you can write start and end times on the board. Otherwise, I can show you that I put timers in. So this is what students will see up on the board. This is standard time for the English test. These are silent timers, but just to be extra careful and for the time and a half, it was a stopwatch. Make sure everything's muted. We don't want to shock them with any type of sound or anything. But this will help you keep time, or you could write it up on the board as well. And then, yes, with your co-proctor, please make sure you guys work together on whatever works for you to schedule breaks. In the past, we've just had one adult in the testing room and the other adult takes a desk or a table out into the hallway and does whatever they need to do. And just you guys work together to create that schedule. And if you are proctoring alone, we've got a few breakers left that haven't been pulled to proctor yet. And so we'll be circling to help give breaks as necessary. And yes, when students finish, please encourage them to review their report pages, they see their scores. And then when students finish, whether you are standard time or time and a half, they can go home when they're done. Or if they want to eat lunch for standard time, they can eat lunch right when they're done testing, go straight to the cafeteria. Buses will run as normal at 3:05. One thing that we did do for time and a half, and I'm sorry to toggle back and forth. They don't want me, but I did want to show you for time and a half, just so students did not have to wait until, I don't even know, 2:30 to eat lunch. We put their extended break in and let the lunch staff know that we may have a few kids that come to eat a quick lunch during that extended break. So this will be between the math and the reading tests. And again, this is only if you have students that want to eat lunch in the cafeteria, then you should send them there. Otherwise, they can take their extended break just outside the classroom or in the classroom, whatever your preference is. Okay. What questions do you guys have? That's all I have.
I got a question.
Yeah.
The phones, so let's say the students come and we have them, take them out, put them at the front of the room. Do they ever get access to them until the complete test is all the way done? If we have a 20-minute break, or I'm just assuming some students are going to show up with their phones.
Yes, every time I've proctored, I've had kids show up with their phones, and we just model it as if it's the ACT. Phones are powered off, show me it's powered off, and it's going to stay at this table, at this spot, at the front of the room by me, or maybe behind my desk as a teacher, and they may not access them until the end of the test, whether they are standard time or time and a half.
Thank you.
Mhm. Yes, Krista, we can chat at the end. Any other questions?
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I'm not in my own room. Am I still able to connect to the board up front to show all that stuff?
That's such a great question, Tom. Every room has been so different, and that's been a major frustration for the entire building. So some rooms AirPlay will work, some rooms you will have to hardwire, but I know the absolute easiest way for me, not being a classroom teacher this year, is to just log into the board as if it's my own standalone Google Drive. So then I can use my computer for other things. I could use my computer for GoGuardian if that's your choice. I would suggest just logging into the board as a standalone device.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, that's not easier for everyone.
Music stands aren't exactly the best place for a test, so.
Yeah, and if honestly, I didn't make the testing room assignments. And so if you get to a room and you're like, whoa, this is not conducive to testing, just let us know. We can find a spot for you. Okay, so I do have directions if you want to use GoGuardian. They are on the slide deck that I sent out. I know you guys have received a lot of emails from me. If you want to use GoGuardian, you can follow along and make sure, I would say you can add a co-proctor so that they can have access to your advisory class if you are proctoring for your advisory. But one thing I just really wanted to make sure, we don't want to mess around with any type of scenes tomorrow. So no scenes, just because we just don't want to mess with that and have anything blocked for them during their test. That'd be super frustrating for students. So if you have questions on that, feel free to reach out. Don't feel obligated to use GoGuardian. You can walk around and proctor as we normally do. And yeah, that's all I have.
And then how do we find out who our co-host is?
Your co-proctor. So I can look right now. I'm not sure if you can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Oh goodness. I have too many tabs open here. Sorry.
I'm with Loy.
Yep.
Okay, I can do that. I like Loy. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, if you don't have any questions, feel free to log out. I'm going to stay on for just a couple minutes and I'm heading to credit recovery. But thank you guys so much. We are so grateful for you.
Okay, Kate, my question.
Yeah.